Success ain't earned, it's bought. That's why at Paddy Power, we paid the big bucks for the best tech nerds in the world to develop our new, fastest ever app. Download the new app from the App Store or Play Store now. 18 plus, begambleaware.org.
Hi there, a very warm welcome on this bitterly cold day to the Racing Post Weekend Football Postcast. The team today consists of me, Bruce Millington, him, Joe Champion, and him, Ian Wilkerson. And we're going to look ahead to what's hopefully going to be a pretty full weekend. Obviously the beast from the east is wreaking havoc with the racing, but hopefully the old football ground staff will be doing their thing, and we'll get a few orange balls out and maybe a few brooms like they had at Peterborough the other night, but hopefully the Premier League action will largely be unscathed. So we're going to get stuck into all sorts of live football. We're going to look at the 3 o'clock games. There's your chance to win a free £25 or €25 bet. And first of all, though, we're going to have a look at the Cup final, and then we're going to do Gareth Southgate a favour, because the World Cup's looming and there's still a lot of question marks about how that England team is going to line up. So we're going to do him a favour and we're going to pick the team for the first game. First of all, though, chaps, FA Cup. Paddy Power, everyone at Paddy Power, by the way, has got a shovel in their hand. They've had so much snow over in Dublin. They haven't got anyone for the luxury of a podcast. They are all digging out the snow from Power Towers. So I'll read out the odds. First of all, Paddy Power on the FA Cup, 2 Man U, 9-4 Tottenham, 7-2 Chelsea, 9 Leicester, 11 Southampton, 33 Swansea, 40 Brighton and 50 Wigan. A reminder, of course, we're at the quarter-final stage. That lineup is Leicester-Chelsea, Man United versus Brighton, Swansea versus Tottenham, and Southampton will be delighted that they're facing Wigan and not Man City. Joe, anything scream value at this point?
Well, obviously the big guns are dominating the market. I mean, they've won, I think, 8 of the 9 FA Cups have gone to teams from the so-called Big Six. But I think Leicester are a big runner at quite a big price. They've got Chelsea, but we've seen Chelsea against a lot of teams this season. They just haven't cut it. And yeah, Leicester, they've got this to concentrate on, whereas Chelsea, they've got Champions League commitments. So I could definitely see Leicester troubling them, and then they could potentially go on and win the whole thing.
9-1 Leicester for Joe. What about you, Wilco?
Yeah, I wouldn't veer too much away from that, really. Chelsea are having a few wobbles, aren't they? They're particularly away from home. They played at Watford the other week. They were terrible. They've won 2 of 8, I think, away. And I don't know whether this is going to be too hot on their radar. I think Spurs have got their best chance of winning it for a long time, but I'd really want a bit more bang for my buck from the price that they are. I think Leicester could come through, and they could be a bit of value in this. And Southampton have obviously got a good draw, but I'm not too mad about their prospects. They've been in the doldrums for quite a while. So if you're going against the big three, United will probably win it. And although they've not got a good record of getting to the Cup final, I think 1 in the last sort of 12 or 13 years, something quite surprising that they've not been that regular. When they played your boys, that was the first one for a while.
Yeah.
I think 9-1 Leicester is not a bad bet.
Okay.
So at this
I'm going to
stage,
chuck a fiver at Swansea. I thought 33-1 was quite a big home advantage against Tottenham. They're playing okay. And if you get through, of course, you're 2-1 to play the winner of the Wigan Southampton game in the semi. So I'm going to have a little bit on Swansea. Right then, okay. World Cup is running through the however many months away it is. There's a few names on the team sheet that are going to definitely start, although there's probably not that many of them. There's probably only 3 or 4. So what we're going to do is, I was thinking we could pick the team we think Gareth Southgate will pick, but that's quite boring. We're going to pick the team we think he should pick, okay? So we're going to spend a couple of minutes doing that. First of all, what formation do we want to go with? Because I suspect he's going to go 3 at the back and wing backs, but I think we haven't got. I don't think we've got 3 good enough centre backs to do that. So
I think as well, if he's got, I think he's got to be more attacking. If he's playing teams like Tunisia and Panama, then they're playing Belgium last night. So we're talking about the first game. So I would think that my preference would be to play a flat back 4 and then play just one sitting central midfield. So almost like a 4-1-4-1.
You happy with that, Joe?
Yeah, I think in qualifying he often did revert to the back 4. He's tried wing backs, of course, as well. But
right, we're going to go 4-1-4-1. Who's going to go in goal?
Jordan Pickford.
Joe, you happy with that?
Yeah, Pickford.
It can't be Hart, can it?
No.
If he's not playing for West Ham, it can't be Hart. So really, it's Pickford or Butland.
I think that's going to be a theme when we're picking the team, that people who are actually playing regularly are going to be the ones that. that seems the pattern. His reluctance to have played Wilshere up to now was that he wasn't playing for Arsenal. So I think that's going to be his mindset. He's
but I mean, the thing is, Butland, I would have said yes at the start of the season. But it's funny, wasn't it? The other day against Leicester, the worst bit of goalkeeping the whole season, and he made a save after that, when the ball's coming through a crowded ruck of players. It was an unbelievable save. He's still really good, but I think just about Pickford, don't you? Are we happy with that?
I think he's had a good season.
Yeah.
Do we think Walker is a lock at right back?
Yeah, pretty much.
So, yeah.
Who would be the dangerous? Trippier?
Yeah.
I don't think there's a lot between them, personally.
No, I mean, speaking as a Spurs fan, the loss of Walker has not been an absolute disaster because Trippier's trained on so much.
Except that Lummox Aurier has played so much, hasn't he? I mean, he looks a shocker, doesn't he?
I still think Walker's a bit ahead of Trippier at the moment.
Yeah, okay. Left back, are we looking at either Rose or Bertrand?
I mean, he's shown a lot of faith with Bertrand, hasn't he? So I think he'll stick with him.
What should he do?
Well, if Rose is playing more for Spurs on a regular basis, he should pick him.
He's not, though, is he?
Yeah, I'm not sure he's going to. So,
and he's ever since, seeing his mate go to City and his head being turned, he's just not been the same player at Tottenham. So I wouldn't have him.
Who would you have?
I'd have Bertrand.
Who would you have, Joe?
Yeah, Bertrand as well.
Okay, we'll go with Bertrand. Right, 2 centre backs. Are we taking Stones as a certainty?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, and who's he going to play with?
I think he'll play Cahill. I can't have either of the Man United fellas, Jones or Smalling.
We're going with who we think it should be, not what we think he should go with. I mean, again, Cahill's fallen out of the Chelsea first team big time, hasn't he? Who would you go with, Joe?
I'd pick Cahill anyway. He's an experienced international defender, isn't he? I mean, Maguire was the other one I was looking at. Yeah, Cahill for me, but there wasn't much between those two.
Are you going Cahill?
Yeah, but if we can have Maguire if you like.
Can we?
Yeah.
I just think
we're a democracy after all.
Maguire's got a bit more on the ball. Who's our one holder? Dyer?
I'm Hendo over Dyer.
That's not happening. Unless you say.
I said Dyer.
Okay, it's got to be Dyer.
I'll tell you that is too.
You can't have Henderson. He's terrible.
I'm not a big fan of Dyer playing in midfield. I think he's good for Spurs as a centre half, but he's prone to lapses of concentration, and he's not played as well this year as he did last year.
I know he hasn't, mate. But Henderson, honestly, surely people have all seen through how bad he is now, haven't they? We're going Dyer, aren't we?
Okay, that's Dyer.
Right, so we got.
I'm on the record.
Hang on, we're Kane up front, aren't we? Obviously, yeah.
Yeah.
Kane's up front, so we've got 4 midfielders. Okay, so we've got 2 kind of playing not directly in the hole, but sort of hole-ish, and then wide right, wide left. Okay, right, away you go, Joe. Give me the 2 guys who should play just in. I suppose it's almost a diamond, really, isn't it, between Kane and Dyer?
Yeah. So I think Dele Alli behind the striker.
Yeah, but like I say, we're a 4 here.
Yeah.
We're a 4 across the middle. We're a 4 across the middle with Dyer in between, yeah? 4-1-4-1.
Okay.
Do we need to have Ali?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think he's had a bad season, lads. He's had a bad season, and I've started disliking big time. He's turned into a nasty individual.
Yeah, nasty footballers do win things, though.
Oh, do they now?
Unfortunately.
Okay, all right, we've got to have Ali in there.
And Wilshere.
And Wilshere?
Yeah.
I'd go with Wilshere.
All right, I don't mind that. And then we've got 2 wide men. Got someone on the left, someone on the right. Are we going to go with Sterling?
Yeah,
Sterling's got to play.
Sterling, we'll stick Sterling on the right.
And probably my favourite England player, apart from Harry Kane, Adam Lallana.
Yeah, I mean, he's not really out and out wide, is he?
I'd shoe him in.
I like him.
I mean, who else have we got to play an out and out wide role?
I mean, now that they've obviously turned their back on the man who should play there, Wilf. Mm-hmm. Who else have we got?
Scholes, Joe Cole. Who else we tried on the left?
Owen Hargreaves.
Is there anyone else? I don't mind Lallana. You happy with Lallana?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd say so.
What did producer Jack just say? Chamberlain? What, Oxlade Chamberlain? That'd be stupid, not having him.
I mean, I don't think...
Make sure the right
another player who's not going to get in that position is Rashford. He's not playing enough.
No. Right, the England team then, Gareth. Pin back those big lug holes. Pickford in goal. Walker, Stones, Maguire, Bertrand. Dyer as the only holder. Sterling, Wilshere, Ali, Lallana, Kane up front. Quite good. Good work, fellas. Let me see now. We've got a Thursday night game, haven't we? Assuming the snow relents. It's Arsenal versus Man City. They seem to have played each other quite recently. It's 10-3 Arsenal gaining revenge for that League Cup thumping. It's 3-1 the draw. and it's 8-11 Man City. Joe, do you expect City to go on and frank the form from Sunday?
Yeah, to be honest, I just think they look so much better than Arsenal, and those scars will still be raw, won't they? Yeah, 8-11, I think that's not a bad price, really, about a team who's won so much already this season.
I think they've won 37 of 43 matches.
Yeah, that's not a bad price. And Arsenal, we know about their struggles against Big Six teams. Like they haven't won this season against one in the league.
So just Man City straight win,
yep.
Neat win.
That
sounds pretty simple, doesn't it? Wilco, we have seen these situations where it doesn't always work out as simple as that. And for all that Arsenal weren't great there, they have been getting it's like a team's never lost 3-0 before. Arsenal always get over-criticised, don't they? They really do.
I do think, though, that we do see a pattern that I can't see them bouncing back straight away as quickly as this. I don't anticipate. It sounds like a real sort of proper football man thing to say, but I don't see that they'd have been torn into. And it's just not the way that Wenger does things to get his team to turn it round. He's already been in the press conference, sort of like talking about, well, I don't, why should my future be an issue and all that sort of thing. It's almost as if it hasn't happened. I don't think it'll turn around that quickly, and I think City will win comfortably.
Do you? 2 votes for City. Okay, I think it might be a slightly narrower victory, but that's that 37 wins, 43 matches. It's a bit of a compelling one. We'll look at Sunday's games next.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Simply place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week, and you'll get a free £10 bet then next week. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
OK, let's turn our attention now to Saturday's Premier League programme. It starts with a televised game at 12:30. Really, if you were picking a game that has got the least relevance this weekend, it's Burnley versus Everton. They can't go down. I suppose Burnley, if they come out of their current malaise, might just get into the top 7, and that might be enough for a Europa League slot. But basically, it's a pretty dull game. It's 7-5 Burnley with Paddy Power, 2-1 the draw, and 21-10 Everton. Wilco, what is your expectation here?
Not a lot. I think Burnley, they haven't won this year. And you've got to go back to December the 12th for their last win, which was over against Stoke. But in that time, their home defeats have been to Spurs, Liverpool and Man United. And they did draw with City, even though Sterling missed an absolute sitter, which would have got them through. I'm leaning towards them more than to Everton, who've had 1 win on the road since January the 21st, 2017. The Allardyce experience, obviously, it doesn't seem to be working. They've lost their last 4 matches on the road, and so I'll be taking the Clarets to get out of their current trough and win at 7-5.
How about you, Joe?
Yeah, I actually thought the same. Burnley, they're probably not, they haven't won much, but there's so much bad feeling at Everton at the moment with Allardyce, and I think that's really being shown in the way they're playing.
Is there bad feeling in what sense?
I think so. The fans don't want him there, do they?
The booing of Schneiderlin.
Yeah, it's not looking good really there, is it? They're safe now, I suppose, but he's done his job and that's it really. I think they'll probably shut off for the rest of the season.
Right, yeah. I did like that tweet where someone said, what was all that about, the booing of Schneiderlin? And he goes, I'll look into it. And someone on Twitter said, what are you going to do? Go around knocking on people's doors? Hello, it's Big Sam here. Why did you boo Morgan Schneiderlin the other? It was excellent. 2 votes then for Burnley. OK, the other game on Saturday's the 5:30. It's Liverpool v Newcastle. Memories of the old 4-3, of course. Paddy Power go 1-6 Liverpool, which I must admit, when I saw that, I was like, really? I'm not sure about that. It's 11-2 the draw. It's 12-1 Newcastle. Joe, what's going to happen here?
Yeah, I mean, Liverpool are very short, but I still think they should comfortably win the game. I mean, they've been pretty phenomenal at Anfield recently. I think they've got 21-7 there. Newcastle just about keeping their heads above the board, but yeah, Rafa, he'd be pragmatic enough, I suppose, but they've not really fared that well against the bigger clubs, and yeah, Mo Salah's been phenomenal as well. I think he's got 9 goals in 10 or something, and the bet I like is Liverpool to win the match and Mo Salah any time, 5-6, which seems reasonable.
Liverpool to win, Mo Salah to score any time, and that's 5-6.
Yeah.
So it's odds on a player to score and his team's got to win. OK. All right. Wilco.
I think, as Joe's mentioned, the Reds have been rampant on their own patch, even though they've only kept 2 clean sheets in their last 8 home matches. That's despite scoring 17 in their last 5. I think Newcastle could make their mark. Benitez was criticised a little while ago when they played City at home, and he was criticised perhaps for being a little bit too defensive. But it's notable that they've scored in 8 of their last 9 away games, and I don't think Liverpool look the second best team in the country at the moment, I think, and but their rise has not been particularly based on any great security at the back. So I'll take a chance that the Magpies might be able to make their mark. I still fancy Liverpool to win the game. So I'd go Liverpool to win and both teams to score at 7-5.
7-5, that sounds pretty good. OK, let's look at the 3 p.m. Premier League games now. I'll rattle through the prices and then the boys can tell me what's going to happen. Start with Leicester versus Bournemouth. It's 4-5 Leicester, 16-5 Bournemouth, 13-5 the draw. Wilco?
Jamie Vardy for me he's in good form for Leicester. He scored 6 in his last 9 matches. I think he can. I think he could score the first goal against a team who've kept 1 clean sheet in their last 15 league games.
Joe?
Yeah, I looked at both teams to score, but 8-13 seemed awful short. So I think maybe a score draw, 1-1 or something, 13-2 might be a decent bet.
Southampton are 4-6 to beat Stoke. The Potters are 4-1, and the draw is 13-5. Joe?
Yeah, Southampton were the team I wanted to back, but I can't really have them at 4-6. They haven't won many recently, and so I just think a straight lay, really. Stoke will draw, double chance. OK, Wilco?
Little enthusiasm for either of these teams. I think this is a banker to be the last match of the day this week. 1 win in 15 for Southampton, and Stoke have won once away all season. I think a draw of 13-5 is quite big. I
think it could be quite a hot contest for the last game, you know, and Swansea-West Ham could be the one where you have to stay up latest if you want to see the highlights. It's 6-4 Swansea with Paddy Power, 15-8 the Hammers, 2-1 the draw. Wilco?
Yeah, both going against that, both teams to score for me. Swansea, they played really well before they got thumped at Brighton last week. West Ham have scored in each of their last 7 away games on the road. Could be starting to show a bit more positivity, being a bit more proactive under Moyes. Yeah, so both teams score for me.
What price is that?
It's about your choice, I think.
Is it? OK, yeah. That sounds good. Joe, what's going to happen Swansea versus West Ham?
Yeah, I'll go for Swansea just to win the match. I think they've won 6 in a row at home, and we know how well they're doing under Carvajal. West Ham, on the other hand, 3 losses in a row away from home and only 5 shots on target in that time. So, yeah, Swans for me.
OK, they both played for one club, but one of the brothers played for both clubs. Swansea, West Ham. Huh?
Yeah.
Who is it?
The AUs?
Yeah, correct. Well done. Which one? No. Yeah, which one?
Andre.
Yeah, well done. OK, Spurs v Huddersfield. God, struggle with. They played for both clubs, Spurs, Huddersfield.
Yeah, that is a tough one.
1-7 Spurs to win at Wembley. Huddersfield 16-1, and it's 6-1 the draw. Joe, what are your views on this one?
Spurs will win the game. I think keep this one as simple as possible. Harry Kane first goal scorer, 21-10.
Lovely, Wilkes.
The Spurs brushed Huddersfield aside up at their place, and the Terriers, they conceded at least twice in all but one of their games against the top 6 this year. Failed to score in 7 of the last 10 away games. I think Spurs can hold that out, so I think they'll win 2-0.
I wonder if the programme editor is now thinking, Christ, page 37, they played for both clubs. What am I going to do? There must be someone. I'll have to cheat and go and Google in a minute. Right, the other 3 o'clock Premier League game is Watford, who are evens to beat rock bottom West Brom, who are 5-2, and it's 21-10. Will this be the game, Joe, that finally sees Taxi for Pardew?
Could well be. I think Watford are going to win this game.
Go on. You think Watford are going to win it, do you?
Yeah. My esteemed colleague Dan Charles tells me that Watford have been playing very well under Javi Gracia. So, yeah, I'll take them at even money. Yeah, they've won 2 of their last 3, and, yeah, why not?
OK, just a neat win on the Orns. What about you, Wilco?
Yeah, I'd echo those sentiments, really. They played well. Watford against... they had a great performance against Chelsea a couple of weeks ago in a home game, did enough against Everton, and I think they'll do enough here against a poor team.
And when you look at these prices for the first time, you see evens, that feels all right, doesn't it? Feels like a decent enough price there.
Yeah.
Let's get the weekend naps.
This will not be beaten.
Ian Wilkinson, what's your bet of the week?
We've just talked about it. I think Watford to beat West Brom. Baggies obviously have gone so long now without making much of an impression. Manager's under pressure. He could go this week. Watford, much stronger at home at the Vic than they are on the road. Even money, cracking bet.
Joe Champion?
Yeah, already mentioned as well. Swansea 6-4 seems like a great price, really. I think they should be even money.
Okay, I'm going to go for Fulham, draw no bet at Derby at 5-4. I've got the answer on the they play for both clubs. A big burly centre half who went from Huddersfield to Tottenham for a very brief spell, probably start of this century, I'd imagine. His first name was Andy.
Andy Booth.
Correct. Okay, right then. Competition time. Every week you get the chance to win a free £25 or €25 bet, courtesy of our sponsors, Paddy Power. All you have to do is answer the upcoming question correctly and tweet your answer with the hashtag Postcast. The winner will have the free bet credited to their Paddy Power account, which is what happened last week with Wayne from Manchester, who was last week's winner. Well done, Wayne. If you want to be this week's winner, just answer this question. Who did Swansea beat in Tuesday's FA Cup replay? We will announce the winner on next week's show.
Check out Paddy's Rewards Club. Simply place 5 bets of £10 or more across any sport in a week, and you'll get a free £10 bet the next week. T&Cs apply. 18+. BeGambleAware.org.
Welcome back. It's Bruce Millington, Joe Champion, and Ian Wilkerson looking at Sunday and Monday's live Premier League games. The first of them takes place at the Amex on Sunday at 1:30. Brighton versus Arsenal. Paddy Power bet 100-30 Brighton. 8-11 Arsenal. 13-5 the draw. Joe, when you're looking at that 8-11 Arsenal and you're thinking everything has its price and that is Arsenal's price, or does it stink the place out?
Yeah, I think I'd want a bit more bang for my buck as far as Arsenal are concerned at the moment, especially if they get beaten again tonight. If they get another thrashing off City, then their heads will be right down, and their away form this season has been pretty poor. I think they've only won 3 away games in the Premier League. So, you know, Brighton have picked up. They're doing really well in their battle to avoid the drop, and yeah, no defeats in 6, so I'd take them draw double chance, really, just a straight lay of Arsenal again.
Okay, Wilco.
Yeah, I can't have Arsenal at 8-11, and we need to see some signs of life from them before I'd consider them at that sort of price on a trip which could be quite tricky. Brighton are going well, aren't they? They're unbeaten in their last 6 in all competitions. But my bet for the game is one of your old boys, Glenn Murray, to find the net. He scored 5 goals in as many games. It's great to see him doing so well at 34, playing in the top flight. Haven't got his chance. Is 13-2 to score first, but I'm probably leaning more towards the 5-2 to score at any time. I think he's the sort of player that could give the Arsenal defence a pretty restless afternoon. So I'd anticipate that he could have another profitable afternoon.
The only thing I would say with Arsenal is that the time to back them is when they're in crisis. You know, when everyone's slagging them off and saying how hopeless they are, they tend to just go bang and win the next 5 games, don't they? But it's definitely a test for them. Certainly a test for Chelsea. They're 4-1 to win a league game, which is a pretty much almost unheard of sight. But that game, of course, is at the Etihad. They're playing Man City, who are 8-15, and the draw is 11-4. It kicks off at 4 o'clock. And Ian Wilkerson, what will the outcome be?
I wouldn't go against City. I mean, Chelsea are having their wobbles. We've talked about them when we were speaking about the FA Cup outright early on. The away game's not been great. Their away form's not been great. Wins over Huddersfield and Brighton in their last 8 matches on the road. Not a lot to shout about. City have scored at least twice in all but one of their home league games this season. And I would anticipate another positive performance for them. Chelsea do find a net, admittedly on the road, all but 2 of their away games they've scored. And City have kept just 3 clean sheets in 11 home games. So I'll be going for City to win and both teams to score, which is I think about 9-4, 23-10, around there. Okay,
Joe, I thought when Man City won at Chelsea earlier this season, I thought it was one of the best league performances I've seen in the Premier League. I thought they were strong, they were dominant, they were classy, they stuck together. They just showed to me that they had their fight to go on and absolutely boss this league and potentially win the Champions League as well. It was a brilliant performance. Can they follow that up here with another resounding win over the Blues?
Yeah, they were brilliant that day at the Bridge, weren't they? Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty much singing from the same hymn sheet as Wilco here. Chelsea still carry an attacking threat. You know, they've got quality players in that side like Hazard and Will.i.am, and I sound like Paul Merson calling him Will.i.am there, but it's because we were talking about it yesterday. But yeah, I think City will be too good for them. But I can see Chelsea scoring, so City to win, both teams to score for me as well.
And what is your favourite hymn?
Jerusalem, does that count?
Jerusalem, yeah, that's a hymn, yeah, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
What else is it? It's an anthem.
Yeah, it's a poem, isn't it?
I don't know. No. What are you going to have at your funeral, Wilco? You're going to go for the old Abide With Me, Nap?
My Way by the Sex Pistols.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, Christ, that's like die for a while. Fancy that one at all. Monday night's game is 8 o'clock at Selhurst Park, 5-1 Palace. 11-4 the draw, 1-2 Man United. Palace still struggling with injury. The latest is that Jeffrey Schlupp and Martin Kelly are likely to be back, but of the 13 first-team players that Palace have had out injured, they'd probably be fair way down the list of ones that the fans want back. But I guess every little helps. It really is crisis time for Palace. They're struggling so much for manpower and getting sucked right back into that bottom three. Can they arrest the slump here, Joe?
Probably not, but then I'm never keen to back Man United in any form at all. So, yeah, I think the best thing to probably do is not expect too many goals. I know Palace, and they like to attack, but they're not going to set up to try and take United apart. So, yeah, probably under 2.5 seems like a decent enough bet to me.
All right. Under 2.5 for Joe. What about you, Wilco?
Snap.
Okay.
Yeah, I think they are really unlucky with Palace with injuries. You know, they're having to play young players, aren't they, to sort of make the numbers up almost. They did against Spurs.
Well, the kid who played right back,
he did well, didn't he?
Wan-Bissaka played well, yeah.
And you know, they have to be credited with the way they defended against Spurs. I wouldn't anticipate perhaps the avalanche from United. They're playing in a similar way. It might not be. I just don't think United will play as with that intensity going forward that Spurs did, who obviously, you know, took them a long time to get through. United have got something to prove. They've lost their last 2 away games. Their last 4 on the road have been under 2.5, and I think this is going to follow that pattern. So that's 8-11.
Okay, I thought draw United might be half decent there. Right, we'll be back next Thursday with another football postcast. Hopefully the snow will have gone by then. If you can't wait that long, though, do be sure to join us on Facebook Live on Monday, when we will preview the next round of Champions League fixtures. And of course, if you enjoy listening to the postcasts, please make sure you rate, review and subscribe on iTunes.
Follow Paddy Power on Snapchat. The username is ThePaddyPower, and we promise there won't be any boring snaps about gigs, the weather or the gym.